A little over a year ago, me and my brother built this epic, high-speed electric scooter. And since then, we've put well over 1,000 miles on this thing.
But you know, this scooter's not perfect and there's a lot of room for improvement.
So in this video, we'll be building an electric scooter that's bigger, faster, and way better than the one we did before. One of the biggest problems with our old scooter is that we built it out of a kid's moped with no suspension. This means we can't go off-road or hit any bumps. So for our new scooter, Colby and I drove 4 hours away to pick up this old dirt bike where we could steal its suspension.
We got ourselves a bike! We got a bike!
I think this will work for us. Alright! To make the front of the dirt bike work for the scooter, we had to slide what was left of that red frame down as far as we could where we had a place to stand.
It's starting to look like a scooter. Starting to.
Meanwhile, my dad was tearing apart the back of the dirt bike where we could use that too.
Alright, so the only parts we're using for the rear suspension are the swing arm and this spring right here.
And now all we had to do was connect the front wheel of the scooter to the back wheel of the scooter.
So this piece used to be on the dirt bike, but we're repurposing it to go right here, and it will connect the front like this. And now we have bearings in the middle of it. All right, we are now ready to connect this half to that half. You think it's gonna work? Nope.
It's important to have bearings here because the swing arm is going to move up and down while we're riding. Kind of like this, but not quite that much.
Wow! Put a spring in there, we're gonna have some suspension.
But as you can see, as soon as I let the frame down, it just hits the ground. That's where the spring comes in.
This spring is gonna go in here like this, so when we go off-road or hit big bumps, it'll be fine.
To make the suspension work, I just used some more of that steel tubing and welded it onto the frame. Then after I added some reinforcement pieces, we were ready to try it out.
Alright. Wow! Look at all the travel we have!
Wow, that's amazing.
And look at that. When you compare this movement to the movement of me getting on the blue scooter, there's a clear difference there. After that, we fixed the front end to where it had a little more travel. And because the entire frame looked pretty frail, we decided to reinforce everything.
So now we're about to build a cage around the battery and controller where we can start putting on the deck that we stand on.
I'll explain in more detail later, but we got a big battery for this thing. It's so big that we had to build the scooter 14 inches wide. But that's okay because it also gives us a great platform to stand on. Just look at how much bigger this is than our blue scooter.
Oh my god.
Without a motor or any way to make this scooter go on its own, to give everything a good test, we decided to pull the scooter with our e-bike sent to us by HiBoy.
Woo! This e-bike has a top speed of 28 miles per hour, and right now it's pulling us up a hill at 20.
And at these speeds being pulled, our new scooter seemed to handle it really well. Also, the brakes were incredible.
The back end lifts it up.
But this isn't any better than our blue scooter. We wanted to test out the suspension. So we ended up using our e-bike to tow it to a nearby park where we could pull it through some off-road terrain. And this is where the scooter started to impress us.
All right, I'm gonna try something our old scooter could never do. We're just going to roll right up this. Wow!
Our new scooter frame had no problem going up and down curves, something that would completely destroy the blue scooter. It was super convenient that HiBoy chose to sponsor this video too, because their e-bike towed this scooter about 5 miles. It too is meant for all terrains and it has a peak 1000 watt motor, so it's very powerful. And with a 48 volt 11.6 amp hour battery, it's capable of doing 30 miles on throttle alone. They also sent us their Max Pro, which is a scooter that has a headlight, taillights, side lights, dual suspension, and can go up to 46 miles on a single charge.
It's absolutely insane, the quality of this scooter for the price they have it selling at.
And if you guys click the link in my description and use my promo code, you can get $60 off the Max Pro scooter and $45 off the P6 e-bike.
Huge thank you to HiBoy for sponsoring this video.
So clearly this frame is a very big upgrade from our old scooter. But because it's so big and heavy, the next thing we have to upgrade is the power.
This is everything the scooter needs to make it go, theoretically.
Pretty much any electric vehicle needs three things to get it moving: a motor, a battery, and a motor controller. And just like in a car, you can measure how fast these things are in something similar to horsepower: watts. Our blue scooter topped out at about 60 miles per hour, and it uses right around 6,000 watts. For the new scooter, we're shooting for 12,000 watts.
Oh god.
Oh my god, 734.
This should theoretically be enough power to launch me off of the scooter if I'm not careful, which is exactly what we want. With the electronics temporarily installed, we took it outside to see how fast this scooter was going to be.
Ready, dude?
Yep.
I'm turning the key on.
Put in speed 1 just in case.
Speed 1. You ready?
Yep.
I've never actually been scared of a build before, but this one I was a little scared of. I had no idea how fast it was going to be.
Dude, nice.
So I just took my time getting used to it until I couldn't stand it anymore.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna give it all it has.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
I hope that wasn't it.
And in case you're sitting there wondering why the scooter didn't look fast, trust me, we are too.
So this scooter is not nearly as fast as we thought it would be. Hit it, Colby. Yeah, that's all the power it has, that's it.
But lack of speed wasn't the only issue we saw during this test. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when I stepped on the scooter, it nearly hit the ground. Watch what happens when I bounce on it. This means that red spring we stole off the dirt bike was way too weak, and through the magic of me editing this, we have a new one 5 seconds later.
This is double the weight rating, so this shock and spring should easily be able to hold us up, giving us more traction and stability.
Now I just gotta figure out how to put it on.
It looks kind of broken without a spring in it.
The new spring would hopefully solve the suspension issues, and since it was bigger, I had to do a little bit of fabrication. But we still had no idea why the scooter was so slow. If you watch this expertly filmed video by me, you can see it's going like 15 miles per hour up the hill, which is horrible. After hours of reading forums and watching videos, we ended up finding out that the problem was our controller. We accidentally ordered one that only gave us 5,000 watts. And remember, we wanted 12,000. Meanwhile, the installation of the new shock was going pretty good.
If I'm riding this off-road or something, what's probably going to happen is this metal is just gonna break. So I'm gonna take 2 bars and come down on this side, making it super strong, and I can ride it as hard as I want and not worry about it. All right, now that it's strong, we get to really test it out. I'm gonna jump on it. Oh my gosh. Guys. Oh, that's perfect.
All right, through the magic of editing, 2 weeks later, here we are with the new controller. Let's hope it works. With the rear suspension fixed, Colby and I put in the new controller where we could go outside and actually see how fast this scooter is.
All right, let's try it out.
All right, see what it does.
Since we got a new controller, this one had 5 speed modes, 1 being the slowest and 5 being everything it had. So, naturally, I put it on 5.
On level 5. You ready?
Yep.
And as I went full throttle, this happened.
You okay?
Oh no.
What? What's wrong?
In case you missed it, as soon as I gave it gas, the scooter took off, but immediately stopped, throwing me right off of it.
It just turned off.
We tried resetting it by unplugging the battery, but when we plugged it back in, we heard a pop. That's never a good thing. We ordered this controller on AliExpress along with all the other stuff, and sometimes the quality control just isn't there, and you just get unlucky, and that was us this time.
Well, It's been like 3 months, and it's finally time to get this scooter out of here.
After our last controller broke, we briefly considered scrapping the video, and even got done with the entire tiny house video before we decided to give the scooter one last try, order another controller, and go for it.
I want the scooter to work so bad. I've been trying not to even think about it because I want it to work so bad.
The test is simple. Once we get down the hill, we're putting the scooter at 60% power and pinning the throttle.
60% power. Ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Whoa!
Whoa.
Now this is what I'm talking about. Having to hold on because the scooter's accelerating way faster than the blue one. It's doing burnouts, all at only 60% power.
Holy cow, that was fast.
Finally! Because you can see I'm holding on for my life, we took the wimpy handlebars and made them into big, super strong bars that we could more easily hold on to.
Now these are proper handlebars for this scooter.
Because the scooter is going to be off-road, it's going to get wet and muddy. So our next step was to strip everything off the frame and paint it to help protect it from rust.
It is time to paint.
Nice.
It was very exciting putting this thing together because at the end of this video, we're taking it on the exact same road we took the blue scooter to find out exactly how fast this thing can go.
Okay, so I think I have everything wired up for the lights. We're gonna test it out real quick. So here's the headlight. Then we got high beam. Yep. Left blinker. Oh my gosh.
After making sure all the lights worked, I then spent a ton of time making sure all the wires were neat and protected from the weather. Next, it was time to install our aluminum panels that we actually traced out from cardboard. To mount these to the scooter, we just used metal tapping screws. That way we could remove the panels if we ever needed to work on it. Then of course we don't want to slip off of this thing and die, so we cut some grip tape in a really cool pattern and put it on the deck.
Man, did this turn out insane. Dude, it looks like we bought it from a factory.
Right? That is a beast of a scooter. Wow.
I think we've upgraded our scooter.
With the scooter complete, it was finally time to see how fast it could go.
Okay, we are about to do a top speed run. For the first time ever, we're putting the scooter in mode 5, which is the fastest mode. And I don't know what it's going to do.
If you recall when we did our tests and it was doing burnouts, remember that was only 60% power. And now I have it set to 100%.
All right, here goes nothing. All right, 3, 2, 1, here we go.
To start this test, I took off very gradually where I wouldn't break anything.
20.
You can see in the right side of the screen that I'm only giving 3,000 watts. And remember, at full throttle, this does 12,000.
40. 50.
At this point, I decided to send it and I pinned the throttle, and you can see how quickly it gets to 60.
60. 62.
What? Wow!
And after traveling more than a mile, I reached the top speed of the scooter. Which was factory limited to 62 miles per hour.
But the reason we're excited about that is because it could have gone faster. It got there so quick.
And in case you're wondering how it stacks up against our blue scooter, even though they have the same top speed,
1, go.
the green one gets there a lot faster. This scooter was also incredibly good off-road when we took it to the trails. For anybody who's curious, we put a 40 amp hour 72 volt battery in this thing, so when we're riding it hard like this, we have about a 50-mile range. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. This is definitely one of my favorite builds we've ever done, and I hope that you like it because I want to upgrade it one more time with dual motors. See you in the next video, guys. All done.